Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the Queers of Time podcast.
I'm Matt.
I'm James.
I'm Camille.
And I'm Kat.
And this is a podcast to talk about all the gay stuff in the Wheel of Time.
Because we're gay and we like the Wheel of Time. And as always, thank you to Lurks, our feral venerator of Serene, for the support.
Yes, thank you, Colorado Rocky Mountain Mommy. So today,
This gets more and more
we
interesting.
have a very organized episode consisting of a lot of planned organization organized around organizing our organization skills. Not at all chaos, not at all chaotic.
What?
No chaotic chaos here, not in this Queers of Time podcast.
Chaos in my Queers of Time?
I don't know her. Who is she?
I don't know her at all.
She don't even go here.
But is there some chaotic chaos? Because apparently that's how I said chaos, chaos. Anyway.
Chaos.
Cows?
Oh.
Are you calling us chaotic cows?
Chaotic cows.
Because, so the thing is that for a long time, I did not know how to say chaos. And still, once in a while, when I try to say that word, it sounds like chaos. And
I can see that.
yeah, anyway, that was a bad joke about my accent. That's fine.
That's
fine.
fair. I can't say the word. So what is the genre that you usually write in, Matt?
Horror.
Horror.
I can't say it properly.
How do you say
Horror.
it? Horror. That's
Horror.
also right. Horror is
Is
right.
it?
Yeah, Stephen King sort of pronounces it sort of like that.
Horror?
Mm-hmm.
It just sounds like I'm saying horror.
Yeah, it sounds like you're just saying, oh.
Like, horror. It sounds like I'm trying to be a pirate.
There's horror. It's it all depends on who it is.
Horror.
Speaking of French accents, I watched a French movie and I didn't notice the French accents, but that's because they were speaking French. It was called Eyes Without a Face, and it wasn't very gay, but it was.
That's unfortunate.
Maybe it was. Is a dad kidnapping and killing girls who look like his daughter to give her plastic surgery and transplant their face onto her? Is that gay or is it just scary?
There was
No,
a book like that
No.
Eyes Without a Face.
that I've read when I was like a teenager.
Oh, God. That sounds horrifying.
And I do not remember it, but it definitely traumatized me.
I imagine it would.
I mean, it was a good movie. I mean,
Anyway,
maybe it's gay coded because the girl who's been disfigured in a
it's not gay coded. There's nothing gay in that.
How is it gay coded?
well, because she's walking around dramatically in like a Phantom of the Opera mask, like dramatically walking around the hallways in a mask, like just melodramatically, and that's maybe kind of gay coded, and like not the like I don't know.
because Phantom of the Opera is gay coded?
I don't know, just melodrama. Melodrama is gay coded.
The drama? Okay.
Melodrama.
Okay, so as you can see, we don't really have a topic for today.
No.
We do
don't.
not. Oh my God.
We had a topic until like 10 minutes before the recording, and then we kind of bailed on it.
We had to swerve. We had to do a little swerve. We're going to do it. It's just we're going to do it a little bit later. I'm sorry. I have to interrupt here. Did you see the headline that Red Lobster is closing 48 stores?
No. Really?
We're very upset about it. Yeah.
That's weird.
Like apparently people showed up to different locations and it was just closed. Like workers.
Are they on strike?
No, they're just I think they're having some money problems. So,
Well,
sorry to Red Lobster.
Maybe
Anyway.
if those rolls weren't free, because I would pay for the rolls.
Yeah, they're delicious. I love the rolls. Anyway, sorry.
At least 99 locations. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a lot. Oh, 99. Oh, God. Okay. I saw 48, but yikesers.
The decision comes just months after a major investor blamed Red Lobster's fumbled Ultimate Endless Shrimp promotion for costing the restaurant chain millions in losses.
Oh, my God.
If you give away free endless shrimp, you're gonna lose money. It's like,
I mean, they're not wrong necessarily, but I doubt that this is the reason why they're having money troubles. Because money troubles don't just happen. They don't just spring up.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They got caught up by capitalism.
Listen, one way or another, capitalism will get you.
They capitalismed too hard is what it was.
They capitalism too close to the sun.
Close to the sun.
No.
They did. They did. Look, I mean, I don't know. I believe that businesses should be able to make profits and be able to make living wages, both for their workers and their owners. But if you're going to be a dumbass and try to capitalize on greed and just do a shitty promotion of shrimp, which, let's be real, you can just go to Popeyes and get shrimp for a lot cheaper.
Sure.
And
but it's not as good as it's not as good.
Probably not as good.
Like,
I don't know. It's just dumb. Rip Red Lobster.
I have never been to Red Lobsters, so
It's good.
I haven't been there in years.
Tasty.
My mom and I went once.
but like the discussion you're talking about explains some of the tweets that I've seen that I did not understand well, like what was the context of them. So
Who, me?
there's that. No, not your tweets. You're not the only one tweeting. You're not the only one on my timeline, Matt.
Well, you're the one I'm the one you're talking to right now. You and Kat.
Yeah, and anyway.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's always fun, though. That's always good when you get the context for something. You're like, oh, I understand.
Oh, that's that. Okay.
That's what this is
Yeah.
about. This makes sense now.
Yeah, I think it was a tweet about how they are closing down affordable food. So anyway, something about that.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
To move the topic away from America's
Red
problem
Lobster.
with fast food, I'd say.
Oh, well, you're about to have to apologize for a lot of things. Just get ready for get
Why?
the ukulele out.
Why? It's a fast food chain, right? They're having
I mean-
problem in the US.
Technically, no.
I don't know that I would
but-
call it a fast food chain.
No.
So it's not like Taco Bell, but for shrimps. Okay.
No. It's like,
Okay, it serves food, first of all.
yes.
Not like Taco Bell.
Well, now we're going to have the Taco Bell people after us, Matt. What are you doing?
We are. Did you know there's a literary magazine called Taco Bell Quarterly?
There's not. I don't
There
believe
is.
that.
There
There's
is
not.
a literary magazine called Taco Bell Quarterly, and it
God.
takes all genre. I have never submitted to them, but it takes all genres in poetry, and it can
Mhm.
be about anything, but you have to include Taco Bell in
Oh
some
my God.
form or fashion.
You know what, though? That's actually kind of fun. That's fun.
It is like it is.
That's whimsical.
It's the literary equivalent of a shit post, but they still like actually publish it and like pay writers
Yeah.
to publish with them. So like,
Listen, as long as they're paying the writers.
yeah.
It's a literary equivalent of mathematician making papers on how to best cut a pizza for some specific reason. I don't remember exactly the article, but there are research about that. Then.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. I love stuff like that.
So, in this episode where we have nothing to talk about and everything to talk about, I thought we do have a few Wheel of Time related news. We have some personal news too that we could talk about. On the Wheel of Time side, it's been quiet. There wasn't much at JordanCon, and there wasn't much after JordanCon either. The only thing of interest is that I already forgot what's name is that. Prime Video upfront for 2024.
Yes.
When they mentioned that The Boys, Gen V, Gen 5, I think it's called, not Gen V.
Oh, yeah, something Gen V?
It's a 5 in Roman later. So I don't know whether it's a V or if it's a 5.
I think it's called Gen V.
Okay, so. Gen V. And The Wheel of Time, did I say all three? Like The Boys, Gen V, The Wheel of Time would have another season in the upcoming year. So there's been debate about whether that means 2024 or early 2025. I'm still betting on early 25.
It's going to be 2025. There's no way. I would be blown away if we got a new season. Amazon is not going to drop both a season of Rings of Power and also a season of Wheel of Time in the same year.
And also, The Legend of Vox Machina is this fall, too.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The what?
I didn't realize it was this fall.
The Legend of Vox Machina, which you don't care about.
Season 3?
Season 3, yeah.
I mean, it's not that I don't care. I just don't know what it is.
No, it's just you don't know what it is. It's an animated TV show that is an animated version of the D&D campaign that Critical Role had several years ago. Their first campaign.
Yeesh.
I didn't know what Critical Role was until last week.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was.
That's surprising.
I thought it was just like a video game.
Okay. Huh.
I wish. Anyway. So yeah, maybe they'll put a lot of fantasy at the end of the year. I doubt that. I think they're going to space that out. And also, I kind of don't want season 3 to be released before they start production of season 4, so that we can actually watch season 3 without everyone freaking out, even if people will still freak out because they're going to say, oh, it's going to be cancelled after season 4, even. Yes, these kind of things.
I'll just call them dummies.
They're like, I'm sorry, they've given nothing about how the people connected to the show are behaving. Like, they're still going to like events here and there and whatnot. Nothing about how they're behaving suggests that the show is going to be canceled.
No.
You know, like it's I don't get it. I think Amazon just wants to they want to make sure that they have a big flashy fantasy show every year, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so they're gonna continue to alternate. Rings of Power is this year. Wheel of Time will be next year. Rings of Power 26, and so on.
Which I hate, but it's the way they.
Well, yeah.
Right now, I mean, I don't expect it to be like 1 year exactly between season, between the two shows. I think it's going to be a bit shorter than that. I think the main reason why there was 2 years between the two seasons of Ring of Power is that they had to move location. They moved from New Zealand to England, and I mean, that's basically starting all over again. Maybe next season gonna be faster. I think it's already the case that there wasn't 2 years between season 1 and season 2 of the Wheel of Time, and we could expect that time to get a little bit shorter too. So yeah, I think they just Amazon just want to regularly have big release on their schedule.
100%,
and that's it.
It's I would not be. I mean, I think the first kind of maybe the first kind of big news that we may potentially get is not going to be until July, when Comic-Con comes around, when we start getting the big conventions. And even then, I doubt it's going to be a big thing. I doubt it will be a trailer or something like that. But I think July is most likely when we'll start getting a somewhat regular stream of Wheel of Time news, which I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure about that. In the sense that there's not going to be a regular stream of news until you're 2 months before the show. Right now, with the Ring of Power trailer literally just came out for a show coming out in August. That's 3 months and a half before.
Yeah.
Which is already a lot. Actually, House of Dragon, I was surprised because their trailer released at the same time and they're coming out in June. So it's a month to a month and a half before.
Okay. That's close.
Yeah, but that's kind of the normal thing.
It is. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
We're just lucky bitches. Yeah. So yeah, that was one news. There's really hasn't been much about that. Outside of that, a few minor casting leaks that are probably Aes Sedai number 3, IL number 4, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Have we gotten official confirmation of the Elida casting? I know we've gotten confirmation from WoT series, but we haven't gotten any confirmation from the show itself.
Nah, nothing official.
Okay.
It's going to be Verin, who got official. We knew for a year and a half before we got officially confirmed before S2 came out. Yeah, I think so. Outside of that, we have personal stuff that we could chat about. Kat, do you want to talk about your upcoming D&D show that I'm so excited to see?
Yes, I want to hear about that.
Yeah. I'm going to be on a Wheel of Time. It's a D&D show set in the Wheel of Time world. And it's going to be called Time to Roll the Die. Yeah, Time to Roll the Dice. And it's roll spelled ROLE, which makes me very happy. We've been sort of preparing for it for the past 3 or 4 months, maybe a little bit longer than that. And we just filmed our first actual episode of the actual session/episode of the campaign last weekend. And so I'm really excited about it. It's two of my favorite things that I get to do. So I get to play D&D, and then I also get to hear whispers of Nynaeve's name, which is exciting.
Yeah, because so the setting is
100 years.
100 years after the last battle.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's Wheel of Time, but it's new.
Yes, it's new. So it's 100 years after the last battle. So things have mostly settled. A lot of the rebuilding and whatnot is done, and so now it's like, it's trying to figure out like okay, how can we start creating new things now and building new connections. And so most of the characters that we would know are not alive anymore, except for like the Aes Sedai, and so like characters like Nynaeve. So we heard a whisper of Nynaeve, and I was like, I will be shocked if we ever meet her. I doubt we'll ever meet her, but it's still fun to hear about characters that we know. It's been interesting figuring out how to mix the two, because obviously D&D has a very specific magic system and Wheel of Time has a very specific magic system.
Mm-hmm.
And so trying to figure out how to incorporate channeling into D&D has been like there's been a lot of work put into it. So our DM is Roof Mistress Leia, who's put in so much work. Oh my god. I don't know how she hasn't gone insane with this, because she's put in a ridiculous amount of world building and just like figuring out the mechanics of everything and whatnot. And I know she's absolutely had help with doing it, but like she has put in a lot of work with this. And we've been practicing with the mechanics of specifically channeling, because I think the majority of the people in the campaign can channel to one level or another. There's some channeling happening, and then also trying to figure out how to mesh in a class with that. And so, for example, I'm a channeler. My character is a channeler, and she's like a paladin if it were in D&D language. And so it's trying to figure out how those two can sort of coexist together. So that's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm surprised that everyone is channeling. I thought there would have been at least someone whose only goal was to become a warder at some point. Mm-hmm. That would have been my character.
There's some, I know. I figured there's one person who's not a channeler, but the problem is that we're right at the beginning. We're right at the beginning of the campaign, and so we're also like, we only have limited knowledge of each other's characters. We have kind of a general idea of it, but we only have limited knowledge of other people's characters, and so we're like, it's all new to us too, which is one of my favorite parts of the D&D process. It's at the beginning when everything is new and you're meeting your party for the first time, and you're also getting to know the people that you're playing with for the first time too, and figuring out like their play style and figuring out what, like, where their head's at in terms of their character. I'm excited for it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You're starting level 1 or?
No, thank God. We're starting at level 3.
Okay. Yes, that's a good level to start at.
Yeah, level 3. It's starting at level 1. It's like, unless you're doing a very specific, I think, kind of campaign, I think starting at level 1 is brutal, because you are like paper. Like you can do very limited things.
I mean, basically, when you start level 1, you have like one shot and you're basically level 2 already.
Yes.
Starting level 2 can be interesting because you get to understand your character before having to choose like a nose for a paladin or like a specialization, like a subclass, basically.
Right. Yeah. So it's
I think I've started a campaign at some point at level 4 also, which was nice.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're already a little bit more poured up before getting into the meat of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so and I'm playing a sea folk too, which is my favorite. It is one of my favorite cultures in the Wheel of Time. And when I think a while back, Rafe teased something about the sea folk, and I was like, oh my god, this is so exciting. This is so
Yay.
we're actually getting I mean, I knew we were gonna I don't know how they would have gotten around not doing the sea folk, but it was still so exciting to get confirmation that this is something that is happening, and just like it's such a cool culture. And yeah, there might be elements of Avatar the Last Airbender in it, another, something like that. So lots of nerdy things.
Guess how long I was into this series before I realized that the sea folk and the San-Chan weren't the same.
Oh, Matthew. Oh, Matthew.
I mean, they both came from boat, and they both start with S. I get the confusion.
That's fair.
They're both boats.
That's fair.
S.
They both, and SEA is at the beginning of both of their names.
Yes.
Exactly.
That is fair.
And they're both mean.
The sea.
I mean, Elaine has a great time.
Okay, one is a slaver mean, and the other's just like mean.
There's okay.
That's not true.
The way that you say they're both mean. The Shan-Chan are whole slavers. They're whole ass slavers. The sea folk just don't give a fuck sometimes, which they're entitled to do that. They can do that.
True.
This
is true. Look. There was so much for me. I thought that the women, the dancers that did the channeling with the sea folk, I thought they were Damane. I was like,
okay.
why are the Damane like doing this on their own? Because sometimes Robert Jordan, when he writes strong woman, that just translates to mean.
Yeah.
And
yeah. That's not wrong, actually.
not incorrect.
It happens quite a lot, surprisingly.
You are not wrong at all.
I don't know why I admitted that. I just opened myself up to more parasocial bullying.
It's true.
I thought you were gonna say more risk of being cancelled, and I was like, Matt.
No, people just calling me idiots online.
No.
People calling me stupid. Not like out of meanness, but just like out of like, oh, haha, like Matt doesn't know things, Matt's dumb. I mean, it hasn't happened recently, but...
No. This is an understandable confusion, though. I understand. I will take
Matt
back...
is dumb?
No, the sea folk San-Chan.
Sea folk Shan-Chan. I understand how you would get those two,
yeah,
especially if it's like your first time reading, because there's so much shit in this series. The amount of cultures, the amount of cities and like countries and whatnot, it's so much. So this is understandable. I get this.
I mean, for me, like Domani and Damane, which like the second one, I'm not saying the way it's being said. I think why? And they're literally, when you meet both of them, they're literally at the same place.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I'm like, did Mr. Jordan do things intentionally just to be like, oh, this is gonna really fuck with them? This is gonna really mess with their heads.
Probably. Bless his heart.
As he cackled and wrote, just got a little bit of glee from it. I mean that in the most loving way. Like, I'm not mad at it. It's just funny that, like, there are so many things that are similar and words that are similar.
On this, Matt, you had some news too. You signed for something else.
Yes, I have 2 publishing deals since my last recording. So the first is for poetry, actually, and it's Gothic poetry. In the Quill and Crow Calls Volume 6. So Quill and Crow is like a Gothic publisher, and they started by doing like community building like poetry, like so they did prompts called Crow Calls, and they started publishing them in different volumes, and they haven't done one in years, but there was some internal stuff that happened. We had a Mazrim Tame in our midst. And they tried to split the White Tower, but the tower stands stronger than it did before Mazrim Tame pulled his crap. So in honor of that and solidarity with each other, they have decided to open submissions for poetry, and I was one of the people that like I got invited to like submit something. So when you're invited to submit to an anthology, like you don't have to like wait about whether or not you're going to get in. Like it's an automatic in. So I have a poem that is going to be published. I don't know what time. And today, I just got the news today, I am going to be in the 2024 Pride Anthology by Haunted Words Press, which is a young adult and middle grade age magazine that does horror.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Congrats.
Thank you. The anthology is called Bleeding Hearts Beat Still, and it's about queer romance. The romance doesn't have to end happily. Mine does. Oddly, I know everybody who knows me is like, "What, you? Happiness? Not in your..." But no, it's my story is about two teens on a tour of an old Scottish castle, and there's a legend about the ghost of an heir to the castle who had a secret and disappeared, and they sort of dive into that and discover feelings for each other along the way.
Aww.
And it's an exciting story, and I'm excited. And it'll be out in physical format. So if you're listening, you should get it not only to support me, but to support the whole press, because they do this for free. It's not a huge capitalist money-making operation, and it's all queer romance, gothic horror. It's light on horror. Like, it's YA, so it's not going to be like, we're not talking like gruesome slashers and stuff like that.
Okay.
So y'all should definitely check it out when this episode drops. It should be nearer time to releasing.
Okay. What date does it release?
I don't know the date. Sometime in June. It's
okay.
Last year, I didn't submit to last year, but last year's their Pride collection, which I think was called We're Still Here. I think it was sometime in mid-June, maybe.
Okay. Nice.
So, but yeah, I'm excited. They said that mine was the first submission that they read, and that they knew they wanted it immediately, which is a very...
Ooh.
That's always great when you can
that's great.
get that kind of feedback.
It is great.
It's amazing.
Yeah, acceptance emails always come with a lot of nice feedback.
Yeah, well.
I had a question for you, Matt, because since basically last year, you've been in quite a few anthologies, and you got a publishing deal, and this kind of thing. Do you have like a website or something like that when you summarize like this kind of thing, or like a place where people can find you, or is that something you consider trying to do, or it's
Matthew.
like I own my domain names, and Omar, i.e. Matt Cawthon, on like the real Matt Cawthon on and by the real I mean the only one that I acknowledge on Twitter Time, who's great, by the way. Omar, if you're listening, you're amazing. He has offered to help me, and he has helped me by building the bones of my website, and he's going to host it. I've just been incredibly busy. This past month and a half, I've been like knee deep in revising a novel so I can start pitching it to agents. By the 23rd, I have a short story that I need to write and get off to submissions by the 31st. And June is my like dedicated month. I will focus on the fucking website. But yes, there will be a website.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to announce that like whenever my website is up or ready to be up. It probably won't be up by the time this episode's released. But it's coming. It's coming very shortly. Like, Omar has the bones of it, and he's been wonderful. But yes,
good.
I will have a website.
Yeah.
So, sorry for the tough question. It just
No, it's fine.
I know. Camille is asking the hard-hitting questions.
No, but like it's at this point, you deserve a page where we can find whatever
all your stuff.
Thank you. Yeah.
like all of your stuff and support you.
At this point, I think this is like my 15th story.
Wow.
16th thing if you count the poems. So like I need a website.
Yeah.
It's gonna have stuff about me. I'm also gonna put up older published stuff. Like the magazine that first published me, or the thing I first got published in, went defunct thanks to AI. And I'm going to revise that story and put it up on my website along with a few previously unpublished stories, just to give people a better taste of all the horrible things I write about.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Especially when you're trying to get a deal and this kind of thing, having a page where you can show off what you've done so far. It's so
absolutely
looking forward to see that.
Yeah, I'm also going to start up a LLC publishing to self-publish when I do want to self-publish, but that's probably not gonna. I'm not gonna there's no point in going into it because I would ask for that to be cut anyways. But yeah, so
awesome.
So that's a lot of good news. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, thank you.
That's great. It feels like, because I know it's like, you know, I know a couple of people who write and are authors and whatnot, and it is hard work, and it's sometimes really disappointing. And I know for you it's been a long road of disappointments, I think, from time to time, and it's been, you know, it's been difficult. And so it's really exciting to see you, you know, people acknowledging how wonderful and talented you are, and you getting the opportunity that you deserve. It's really good.
Thank you. I'm trying to accept the compliment and not hide in my shell.
That's right.
Thank you. But yeah, so that's what's going on with me.
It's awesome. And Camille?
Yes.
What's up with you?
I mean,
what's Camille news?
I don't have fancy deeds and fancy new stuff. I just go to London once in a while to watch theater and sometimes meet other Wheel of Time folks there.
Oh, you know.
And sometimes we just end up like chatting with Rafe Jenkins and Taylor Napier.
I mean, a typical Tuesday, right? Who hasn't?
It was a Friday.
Sorry, a typical Friday, you know? Who hasn't had that happen?
For context, Maya Simonson, who plays, I'm sure I'm going to be wrong, it's either Bane or Shiad. It's one of those two. So she plays that in the second season of The Wheel of Time, and she had a play for a few weeks in London called Banging Denmark. She was the Denmark that needed to be banged, apparently. I'm just saying.
She plays Chiad.
Chiad, okay, thank you. And so we went to see that with a bunch of different Wheel of Time folks. There was Uno and Agino. I don't know if you know a few people from Flickerverse, a few other people. There was Charlie, there was
Charlie.
Laura. I don't know if... No, I don't think you know Laura.
Yeah, and Laura, are you talking about Laura Camille or... No.
No,
okay.
No. Someone completely different that lives in England. So you probably have never met her.
I have not.
Yeah. And yeah, it was a very small theater. There was at most 50 seats.
Oh, wow.
We were first row, which means if I was to extend my arm, I could literally be touching those actors.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
That's a small theater.
A small theater, and literally 5 minutes before the play started, I looked to my left, and there they were, Taylor Napier and Rafe Jenkins.
That's so funny.
And so the funny thing is that, so there was Rob from Alkirk Talks, and I think a week or two before that, they went to, I don't know where that was again, but there was, Taylor Napier was doing a Shakespeare play with a few other people it wasn't in Prague, it was in another city, and they traveled, like Rob and Uno traveled there to see him, and like in the after party, apparently Rafe showed up at the end. So they had seen Rafe and Taylor that time, and I think Rob joked with Uno right before the play started about, hey, wouldn't it be funny if some people from the Wheel of Time cast were showing up? And then literally in the minute after that, Rafe and Taylor showed up.
There you go. Spoke it into existence.
So,
That's amazing.
Yeah, which was fun. Yeah, we got to chat a little bit at the end. Got to chat with Maya, especially since it was her first stage.
Okay, awesome.
Which I didn't know. She was amazing. That play was really funny. It's the context was an incel guy who makes a podcast about how to get the girl, like a pickup artist. That's how they call that. And he has this crush on this Danish librarian who is obviously like, she doesn't care about anything he's trying to do, any of his usual move, because she's not like that.
She has self-respect.
And she has self-respect, basically. And as a result, he tried to hire the help of a feminist, like a strong feminist, to help him out. Obviously, she laughed at him. And that's like the play kind of started like that, and then you get the interaction with the different characters, and it's hilarious from the start to the end, because it's not like pro incel. They're literally making fun of those people.
Right.
And it was fun.
Okay.
It got a little bit gay at some points, which I was not expecting.
That's always exciting. Always a good surprise.
Because, so the funny thing is that, the feminists end up going to the library to see that lady that guy wants to flirt with. And like a while ago, that feminist had a blog about video game especially. And apparently the librarian is like a fan of that blog and a fan of that person. So there's a little bit of like fangirl moment.
Yeah.
And it kind of turned into the librarian inviting the feminist for coffee. And it ends up in a hookup.
Love that for them.
And it's hilarious like the whole time because, yeah, it's like the feminist is kind of trying to sell her friend to that librarian, where the librarian is completely flirting with her, and she almost doesn't notice it until they actually kiss.
Of course.
So the whole scene is hilarious, but it also was too meta for me. So that was something.
A typical sapphic.
A typical sapphic thing. But like the funny thing is that it's actually the second play that I'm going there just because someone from the Wheel of Time cast is on it, and it's like that turns sapphic. Because the plays that I had went to see, Avienda Ayula Smart,
Right, yeah.
was also like Ayula's character was gay.
That's right, you did say.
So it's like, it's funny when it happens once. It's hilarious when it happens twice. Like,
let's fingers crossed that this keeps happening. I like this trend.
I like that trend too.
It makes me so happy how many of the cast members of the Wheel of Time are just like really into theater, like that are like entrenched in theater. I feel like I feel like being a theater actor adds so much to just like acting in like movies and TV shows. Like I think it really just enriches your performance, and you can tell when someone is a theater actor. Like it is very obvious.
Sophia Canedo. It's obvious when you see her play Swan that she's a theater actress and she is amazing. I got to see her in Medea. I was trying to see where the E and the E. Medea, and like, yeah, she's amazing. And
did she play Medea?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I was like, who else would she play?
Oh yes, of course she does.
Of course, she was the main name, and she was so good.
Oh yeah.
I got to see Kate Fleetwood. I got to see, so on Saturday, we went back to see Donald Finn on Hadestown. And same thing, like, he's amazing in it. He has such a nice voice. And also a very strong technique, because Orpheus in Hadestown, I like, if anyone ever listened to the soundtrack of that, it keeps going between a very high singing voice and a bit like, it's kind of alternating between head voice and chest voice.
Oh yeah, okay.
A lot, and sometimes like keeping back and forth very quickly. And is really good. Is really good. I'm hoping that at some point we'll get maybe Matt singing.
I was just thinking that.
That would be so great.
Oh my god, I would love that.
That would be fun. That would, I don't know. I'm torn on like, I guess it wouldn't have to be a musical episode.
No,
it wouldn't have to be,
because there are so many like little, like he could just be humming a little, like singing a little snippet of a song. Like it's. I think it would fit really well into like the world of Wheel of Time, but also Matt as a character, just like as he's like, out gambling somewhere and starts singing a little snippet of a song, and I think it would fit.
I am gonna try to say this as nicely as I can, but the quality of the acting with Matt between season 1 and 2 is like night and day, and it's not just because of Dagger Matt. Like, I'm sorry. We had a Matt who seemed very not always there, and maybe had like 1 or 2 scenes where I felt he was acting. And in season 2, we have a Matt who eats every scene that he's in. And the technique, the acting techniques, the facial expressions, just everything about Matt in season 2 it's very obvious that this is an actor who takes his job very seriously and has theater training, because like I said, like theater brings a whole new aspect to acting that isn't necessary for TV and movie actors, but it certainly helps flesh out their repertoire, so to speak. So that's probably the nicest way I could say it. I'll just say that I really hope that Barney sticks around, and I think he will. Not Barney. Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's Donald Finn.
I was like, what?
Nope.
Donald Finn.
I'm really glad that Donald Finn's here, and I hope he stays.
I think he's great.
He's gonna stay.
I think so too. Like
So we got to talk to him at the end of Hadestown.
Oh, nice.
And like we were like at least 10 people from the Wheel of Time fandom. And I mean, it's the second time that I'm seeing him after the show. It's the second time that we are telling him that we're Wheel of Time folks. And every time he's like so happy that the Wheel of Time fandom is super supportive of actors and go to see them outside of the Wheel of Time. Rafe told us the same thing when he saw us at Maya's play, because it's like it's amazing when you get a fandom that is really invested in the cast too, and want to support them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to fly to London and see Hadestown, probably get him to sign my book.
I know. I wish there was stuff that there was more stuff that get access here in North America, but it's, I mean, it makes sense. They're all located over in Europe and whatnot, so it's,
I mean, there was also some stuff in New Zealand / Australia. I don't remember where.
I mean, I have to tell you, it's not any easier for me to get there.
I know, but like, to tell you, there's also stuff outside.
Yes.
Yeah, like I am extremely lucky that I've moved to London not that long ago. Like, not London, to close to London not that long ago. It's funny because whenever, like, I was thinking about that last week, because Critical Role announced another live show in the US, and they regularly, like, once in a while they have some live show in LA, and I wasn't that far from there. I was like in San Francisco. I could have flew there had I been into Critical Role back then. So I'm like, damn, this is sad. I don't get those anymore, but at the same time I get all of the Wheel of Time stuff. So I'm like, yeah, there's a pro, there's a con. It's fine. It's a good balance.
100%.
So yeah. Yeah, and I think, so I know that Hamed, who plays Loyal, is in a play in a few months in London.
I think so, yeah.
And also Merasial, who plays Verin.
That's right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So
there's quite a few of them. Like, which is once again, it's just, I was just thinking of, I'm sorry, I'm going to talk about a different nerdy thing. Star Trek: The Next Generation. And Patrick Stewart plays Jean-Luc Picard, which is like, he is, for most Star Trek fans, he's like the model of what a Starfleet captain is supposed to be and whatnot. And the way that he so easily could have phoned it in, because at that point in like, especially in like the theater scene, like, he was very well known in the theater scene. He was like a giant in the theater scene at that point. And he did all of that and funneled it into this like silly show about starships, like, you know, meeting aliens and whatnot, except sometimes it's not just a silly show about starships. And he used all of that sort of like theatrical training and put that into the role. And you can see, like, there's just this passion, I think, that theater actors bring to roles, and it's really, really evident. Like, it's seeing
there's a physicality.
Yeah, it's
like a presence. They own the set,
because you have to. Like, if you're a theater actor, you have to be able to own your presence on stage. And like, there's a reason why Kate Fleetwood, and I mean, obviously the writing is fantastic, but there's a reason why Kate Fleetwood as Leandrin has like burrowed into so many people's like hearts and whatnot, because like Leandrin in the book is very two-dimensional. Like, she's very flat, but Kate Fleetwood brings so much life to her, and there are so many nuances that she brings to her as a character. It's the same thing with like Mira Cial. Like, I can't wait to see what she does with Varen, because Varen is a character that is just like, there's a lot to Varen, and a theater actor is gonna bring a lot of good stuff to it.
Yeah.
It just makes me really excited for like future seasons and future plot lines and whatnot.
Scenes.
Yeah.
and it's true, like, acting in a theater is so different from acting in a show, because there's like, in a show, because of camera and this kind of thing, you can allow yourself to go in small nuances and this kind of thing. But like in theater, everyone needs to be able to see you. So you kind of have to always have a certain emphasis on, you have to be specific about what you're doing in a way so that people can see it. Same thing with your voice. Your voice needs to be a lot clearer in theater. You have to project a lot more. And I think it does play well with like especially like a fantasy drama like The Wheel of Time, where you can't be normal people, you have to be above and beyond.
Yeah, like the way it's that scene with Sophie Okonedo and Yosha when she's in season 2, when she's admonishing him essentially for not having like not knowing shit, and the way that she just like says like, it would have been so much easier if you were a girl. And it's so cutting. The way she says it, it's like knives that are coming out of her mouth, and just like, it's such a simple sentence, but like the way that she delivers it, it's just like, you feel like, I felt bad for Rand. I was like, oh my God, that's horrible. Like, and it's supposed to be cutting.
She snapped.
Yes, she both like physically with the power and then verbally slapped Rand. Like, it just, but like there's such presence that she brings to that role, and she has to, because like a character like Swan, you have to bring that presence. Yeah.
I was very excited when I got to see Kate Fleetwood, but sadly I hated the piece. I hated the play. No, I didn't hate the play. Yeah. I hated the main character, who was played by Dominic Vest.
Okay.
Is this the incel play?
Because no, the incel play was Maya Simonson. I'm talking about the play with Kate Fleetwood, A View from the Bridge, I think. And I mean, it's an older man with weird relationship with their niece and being a racist asshole.
What is that? I put down a book. Like I got a book at Jordan Con. I'm not going to say it just in case anybody's here. I don't want to spread it, but like I purchased a book at Jordan Con at one of the author booths, and the writing wasn't good. It was like unedited Wattpad writing, but also the second chapter in it. Like I can, if the writing's bad, if the story's really, really good, I can get into it. But there was a scene where these teen girls were like playing with a Ouija board, and like I know it's it's hard for someone who's not a teenager to write how teens talk, but just write natural dialogue. This person was like, oh, maybe we can go on the internet later and post pics. And it was so cringy and awkward. And then one of the characters' uncles comes in and just starts flirting with these underage girls.
Ew.
And I am very, very much against like snap judgments. Like people are all like, oh, you shouldn't read Lolita by Nabokov because it encourages pedophilia. No, it doesn't. It's told through an unreliable narrator.
It doesn't.
I didn't get those vibes from this. This book was just like, haha, he's our uncle. He does this. And like, you know what?
Yeah.
The writing or this scene alone would have maybe not been enough for me to put down, but together, I just no. What is it with people and creepy uncles being creepy towards their minor lady?
Well, it's because it's a thing that happens. It's because it's
a thing that happened, and I would say the author may need therapy.
Well, that too.
Right, but like there's a like it's almost like fetishy. Like it's like there's plenty of stories about.
I mean, I had a teacher in high school who was an older dude that kept asking girls to go to the whiteboard so he could like just leer on those girls. And I was like beginning of high school, and also like I was also with that teacher like end of middle school, and like he knew that's what he was doing.
I don't agree that sexual assault shouldn't be in fiction. I think that's just the stupidest take. One of the stupidest takes out there. No. But like, we can tell when you're fetishizing it.
I think it very much depends on how you present it.
Right.
How you're presenting it, how you're writing it. Like, I've heard people talk about the example of Lolita before too, and like they're not saying this is okay. It's an unreliable narrative. Like,
exactly.
This is not okay behavior.
Not that that's what we were talking about, but
you're not meant to be like an example for it. But
Yeah. Sorry not to go on a rant based on Camille's story.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think we've talked about pretty much everything we wanted to talk about.
Yes.
Oh my god, we've been talking for 54 minutes.
I told you.
That's crazy.
So before recording this episode, we spent about like 10 minutes just trying to chat and figure out what we could be talking about. And at some point I was like, I might as well just start the recording and we just go from there and we'll see what it leads to. And I think it was okay-ish.
I think so too.
I think it went well.
We managed to bring order to chaos.
Yeah.
I am proud of us. We should do these catch-up episodes more often.
We should.
Where we just kind of talk about what's going on. Yeah. I like this.
I'm sure a lot of people love listening to podcasts where it's just a bunch of friends catching up with each other and just chilling. And this is what this episode was about.
There you go.
But now I have to go catch up with my work.
Yeah, I'm going to have to catch up with my sleep.
I need to catch up with eating.
Go eat your pizza.
My pizza. My free pizza.
Pizza.
Anyway. As always, thank you for listening to this episode of The Queers of Time. If you liked it, please let us know. We are available on Discord. We also are on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Blue Sky, TikTok. We probably don't check all of them. So depending on where you're trying to contact us, you may have more or less success. Basically, if it's a website where we haven't posted anything, it's at least 10 months, then don't expect much of an answer.
Discord is the best place to get in touch with us.
Yes, basically. And also there's some great folks on our Discord, and we have a nice conversation about a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
And if you want to support us, we have a Patreon. It's always nice to get some support because producing a podcast has a cost. And I think I said everything. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Well, bye.
Bye, motherfuckers.
Bye.
God. Why, Matt?
Bye, motherfuckers.
Thank you all for listening. This was Queers of Time, a Wheel of Time podcast. The music is Dance of the Witches by Julius H.